Hello, I'm Papia. In this problem, we have a function f of x is equal to negative logarithm of x plus 2 base 6. We have to find the domain of this function, x-intercept, vertical asymptote, and then we have to sketch a graph. Okay, so let's start with the domain. Now remember, what is the domain of a function? It's all those x values that you can plug in the function and you will get an output. So the function is logarithm function. Well, what kind of x values can we plug in? Recall that you can only plug in positive values inside a logarithm in order to get an output. So if you plug in a negative number or 0, it will not give you anything because it's not defined. So the domain will be all those x values such that this expression is positive, strictly positive. So to find domain, we need x plus 2 to be strictly positive, because then you can plug it in and you will get an output. Okay, so what are the x values? Then x should be greater than negative 2. Therefore, this means domain is all those x values to the right side of negative 2. So in interval notation, it's negative 2 to infinity. Remember, you cannot plug in the negative 2 because if you do, you will get logarithm of 0, which is not defined either. So it's parenthesis negative 2 to infinity. That's the domain. All right, let's move on. Next, we have to figure out the x-intercept. X-intercept is when y is equal to 0. Okay, so y is the function. So you find out what is that x so that f of x will be equal to 0. Well, f of x is right here. Plug that in. So we need negative logarithm base 6 of x plus 2 to be equal to 0. Well, you can ignore the negative. You can just multiply a negative sign both sides. It will go away. So we want all those x so that the logarithm of x plus 2 with base 6 is equal to 0. Well, how to solve this? Remember, this is equivalent to saying 6 to the power 0 is equal to x plus 2. Well, now we have an equation in x and we can solve for x. Well, let's see, 6 to the power 0 is 1. So 1 is equal to x plus 2. So x is equal to 1 minus 2, that's negative 1. So what is the x-intercept? It's negative 1, comma 0. This is the point. So at x equals negative 1, the function value will be 0. All right, so we finished with x-intercept. Next, we have to find vertical asymptote. Well, let's think about it. What is a vertical asymptote? It's a vertical line so that the function, which is given here, will approach to infinity or negative infinity as x is approaching to this line. So you have to figure out what is that line, if there is one. Well, notice it's a logarithm function, right? And you know that if the expression here approaches to 0, then logarithm approaches to negative infinity. So let's think about it. When will this expression be 0? When x is equal to negative 2. We know that logarithm of 0 is not defined, but if we just consider a limit, if we consider x is approaching to negative 2, that means x plus 2 is approaching to 0, right? Then what happens to the function? Well, it will approach to, remember, x plus 2 is approaching to 0. So logarithm of x plus 2 will approach to negative infinity times this negative, it'll approach to positive infinity, which means this line, x equals -2, is a vertical asymptote. Okay. All right, so we have domain, x-intercept, and vertical asymptote. Now, let's try to sketch the graph of this function. Well, to sketch the graph, let's think about it one more time. Our function is negative logarithm of x plus 2 with base 6. Well, you know what the graph of just logarithm of x will be. You know, we have seen that graph. Well, let's see how we can transform that original graph of logarithm of x to get this graph. Okay, so this negative sign means that the graph will be reflected about x-axis. And x plus 2, instead of logarithm of x, we have logarithm of x plus 2. That means that the original graph, logarithm of x, will be shifted 2 units to the left. Okay, so let's use those facts. And we also know the vertical asymptote is x equals -2, which means this is -2. This vertical line will be a vertical asymptote. Okay, we know the x-intercept is -1, 0. So that means the graph will pass through this point. And we also know that as x is approaching to -2, the function will approach to positive infinity. Okay, so once again, notice logarithm of x would be drawn this way. So we're shifting 2 units, and then we're reflecting about x-axis. So it'll look like this. This is a asymptote, so it'll keep on going across x-axis, and it'll keep on going this way. So that's a rough sketch of this function, negative logarithm of x plus 2 base 6. Thank you.